today we are looking at P4, which is polynomials, and our learning goal is that you will be able to perform operations with polynomials. So operations meaning adding, subtracting, multiplying, and FOILing with polynomials. In a polynomial, let me just give you an example. Looks something similar to this. And it's algebraic expressions. It could be a single term, it could be a sum of two or more terms that have variables with whole number exponents. So the exponents, they all have to be whole numbers. And anytime they ask you for the degree is always the highest exponent, which in this case would be 3. So you always want to make sure that they are in descending order. So we're going to first start off with adding and subtracting polynomials. Okay, so for our first example, this is the polynomial. And when we add and subtract, you want to make sure that you combine like terms. Let's write this out. Okay, so all we're doing is combining like terms. So I'm going to combine the x cubes first. So that gives me 4x cubed. Then my x squares, I get 9x squared. For my x terms, I get negative 13x. And for my constants, I get negative 3. And if they ask you for the degree, which they might in the directions, the degree would be 3 because that's the largest exponent. Okay, and then subtracting is similar, but you just have to make sure you look out for the negative. And I'll just write this one out too. Okay, so I'm going to combine my x cubes. So since I'm subtracting, I'm going to get 5x cubed. And negative 8 minus negative 6 will be minus 2x squared. Then I'll do my x terms, plus 12x. And negative 6 minus 9, negative 15 for my constant. And my degree is still 3. So adding and subtracting, all you're doing is combining like terms. Okay, with multiplying, you can either distribute, like in example A, and then B, C, D, and E. In those examples, you can FOIL. And then example F, you would multiply 2 at a time, and then multiply the last term to the answer. So let's start with example A so you can see what I'm referring to. So when you're doing this, you make sure you distribute to each term. So I'll get 2x cubed plus 8x squared plus 10x. And then I'll distribute the 3 plus 3x squared plus 12x plus 15. And then from there, you just combine like terms. So I'm going to get 2x cubed plus 11x squared plus 22x plus 15. And then it asks you to write it in standard form. That just means your exponents are going in descending order. And then example B, you just FOIL like you learned in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. First, outer, inner, and last. So this was first, outer, inner, and last. Then you combine the two middle terms, or whatever terms you can combine. And then you're done. Now if you see a square, of course that means to write it twice. Or those of you all that are really good, you can just multiply it in your head. So I'm going to get 9x squared plus 21x plus 21x plus 49. And you combine the middle terms, and then you're done. And then going to example D, even if you have another variable, you still do the same thing. X squared minus 4xy, and I usually write them in alphabetical order, plus 4xy minus 16y squared. So what happens when you have the same term but different signs? The middle terms cancel, and you're just left with the first and the last. Okay? And then this one is like example C. So if you're visual and you need to write it out twice so you can see it, you'll get 25x squared minus 15xy minus 15xy plus 9y squared. And then you combine the middle terms. And then you're done. And then if you have 3, you'll just have to do 2 at a time. So I'll do these 2 first. Okay, I already combined those, so when you get really good, you don't have to show that middle step of foiling. And then you would just distribute like we did before. So you'll get x cubed minus 3x squared. Then you'll distribute the negative 6x. Negative 6x squared plus 18x. And then you'll distribute the 9 plus 9x minus 27. And when you get here, you combine all like terms. So you'll get x cubed minus 9x squared plus 27x minus 27. And that is multiplying. And even if you see any problems where you have to add or subtract with 2 variables, just remember to combine like terms. And that's it.